this is Karen.
Hi everybody, this is Shane.
Today we have a lesson called paper or
Plastic, sir.
And the vocabulary words are scientist.
Scientist.
Scientists claim to have cured the disease in mice.
Rough.
Rough.
The plane made a very rough landing, which caused one passenger to throw up.
Outer.
Outer.
The outer skin has some black spots on it, but the rest of the onion is totally fine.
Performance.
Performance.
I agree that the car's engine performance has been improved.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Albert gets great satisfaction from teaching. So, paper or plastic, sir?
Why, they say this because in grocery stores they used to ask you paper or plastic. Do you want a paper bag or a plastic bag? But I think everywhere now they just give plastic bags, right?
Well, in Taiwan we have definitely reduced
Yes.
the use of plastic bags because everyone's supposed to bring their own bags when you go shopping.
The problem is plastic is such a convenient material to work with. But this has caused such problems for the environment.
I know.
There's just too much plastic and it's quite difficult to recycle and it's not recycled enough.
And we should definitely do our part to help save our earth. And that's why Coca-Cola has come up with a new idea for their packaging.
Right, so instead of like a bottle, the plastic bottle they would normally use, instead now it's going to be a paper bottle. Still, it has a little bit of plastic, right?
Yes.
A very thin layer of plastic in there still. But essentially, it's a paper plastic bottle. Basically a paper bottle.
But it has already reduced a lot of plastic use from before, right?
So in Hungary, they've already released this and have trials, and we're going to see how that goes. And hopefully, it will be a success, and Coke's going to reduce their waste by like 50%, use recycled materials instead of wasting so much plastic.
Good job, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, we need more companies like Coca-Cola.
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy today's lesson.
Enjoy.
Paper or plastic, sir? Coca-Cola, the world's #1 soda brand and plastic polluter, is going green. As part of its long-term plan to reduce the amount of plastic used in its products, the fizzy drink giant will test a new paper bottle in Europe. Hi there and welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Kim.
And today we're going to be talking about containers. That's right, things we take stuff home or carry stuff around in. Now, we all know that plastic is a big problem, but it's also something we make a lot of containers out of, don't we?
Yeah, plastic is one of the #1 enemies in the world of green climate change. You really don't want to use plastic, but sometimes the companies can't help it, right?
Absolutely, but I get frustrated. I feel like we've been doing articles and talking about this for so long, and still we see so much plastic around. So let's find out what people are doing about it, and hopefully some of the ideas we're going to read about today will become really common really soon, because there's still way too much plastic out there. Let's check out our title. It's actually kind of a funny little title. Paper or plastic, sir? Basically, this is something they would ask, I think, about bags.
Yes, usually in the grocery store they would ask you.
Paper bags or plastic bags. Paper bags aren't so common here, but in North America they are. Some people don't like paper because you have to cut down trees, but paper does recycle and break down in the garbage, whereas plastic, which is cheaper and lighter, is not going to break down in the garbage, although you can recycle it sometimes. So we have this problem. Let's find out what one company is trying to do. It says, Coca-Cola, the world's #1 soda brand and plastic polluter, is going green. Well, we hope so. Yeah, they make a lot of soda. That's, of course, Coca-Cola, but they make other things. I think they make 7-Up.
Yep.
They make other drinks like that.
Lots of different drinks, yeah.
Lots of different drinks, and most of those drinks, of course, come in plastic bottles. That's why they're also the world's #1 plastic polluter. But They're going green.
That's right. As part of its long-term plan to reduce the amount of plastic used in its products, the fizzy drink giant will test a new paper bottle in Europe. That's right. Sodas, its most common product, are fizzy. They have a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, British people actually often call them, I'd like a fizzy drink, please, meaning a soda or pop, as some people might also say. They're trying out a new paper bottle in Europe.
Interesting.
This is interesting. This is obviously a new product that hopefully we'll be seeing more of because it sounds like it's better than plastic. We'll find out more after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。人们一直都在呼吁要减少塑胶用量，不过当你走进超市、走进便利商店，你要买饮料的时候，就发现眼前仍然是满满的塑胶包装，不知何年何月才能得偿所望啊！另推。好，我们今天的课文是要来看看可口可乐这一个全世界第一大汽水品牌，同时也是全球最大塑胶污染源的公司，能够为我们环境做出什么样的努力？课文就提到说，作为减少产品塑胶用量的长期计划的一部分，可口可乐这间气泡饮料巨擘，这间气泡饮料龙头将在欧洲测试一种新的纸瓶。哇，用纸瓶来装可乐，这行得通吗？好，那不管怎么样，我们先来看两个重点。第一个 ，the amount of 加上名词表示什么什么的量，用来指不可数名词的数量。举例来说 ，we need to cut back on the amount of water we use。我们必须减少水的用量。第二个重点是分词片语的用法。我们看到形容词子句呢，其实可以把它简化成分词片语，用来修饰前面的先行词。简化步骤就是先省略主格关系代名词，然后呢再把它后面的动词改分词，主动就用现在分词 VING， 被动就用过去分词 PP。好，举例来说 ，Mark is holding a jar which is filled with marbles。Mark 手里拿着一个里面有满满弹珠的罐子。好，那么关系子句当中这个 which is filled 其实就可以省略成 filled， 那么句子就会说成 Mark is holding a jar filled with marbles。 好，接回到课文中。
Paper or plastic, sir? To make the eco-friendly bottle, Coke's top scientists teamed up with Danish bottle maker the Paper Bottle Company. Although it's made mostly of paper, the current model still contains a small amount of plastic. To survive rough transport conditions, the bottle is made of a thin, recyclable plastic shell that is covered in an outer sheet of paper. The company hopes to create a paper bottle without the plastic shell in the future. Okay, a paper bottle for my Coca-Cola.
Sounds, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Sounds like a good idea, but
Yeah.
will it work?
I don't know. Let's see. To make the eco-friendly bottle, Coke's top scientists teamed up with Danish bottle makers, the Paper Bottle Company. Oh, very descriptive name.
That's the name of the company?
That is the name of the company.
The Paper Bottle Company.
At least you know what they make.
What do they do? I don't
Something
know.
about
Is it
bottles.
Oh, is it? I thought it was a car company.
Oh.
Okay, the Paper Bottle Company. They make paper bottles, and hopefully, as they team up with Coca-Cola, they'll come up with a really good new product. But of course, a lot of this involves science. So when you talk about science and the people who do science, you're talking about scientists. There are many types of scientists: chemists, physicists, biologists, chemical engineers, all sorts of people. But if you're a scientist, you're probably working in a lab, you're doing experiments, you're doing research, you're collecting data, you're inventing things, all that kind of stuff. So no matter what kind of scientist you are, from working with plants and animals to working in space, everything in between, if you're doing science, you are some kind of scientist. Let's look at one. Scientists claim to have cured the disease in mice. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's pretty common they use mice for experiments.
Right, so these would be biologists or
Yes.
chemical engineers or something like that. Well, good for them. We want healthy mice.
We do.
Yes.
Now, although it's made mostly of paper from the paper bottle company,
Sure.
the current model still contains a small amount of plastic. I imagine you can't have a bottle that's 100% paper. That might not work. So we still need a little bit of plastic
But
in
I
there.
guess if it's 10 or 15% plastic, that's better than 100% plastic.
That's true, yes.
Right? But one good thing about plastic is, of course, it's cheap, but it's strong and it's very light. So it's a good thing to put stuff in. To survive rough transport conditions, the bottle is made of a thin, recyclable plastic shell that is covered in an outer sheet of paper. Interesting. The company hopes to create a paper bottle without the plastic shell in the future. Okay, so a little bit of plastic on the inside to keep the liquid in, but then the outside holding that together is made of paper.
Right.
Better.
That's much
Better.
Well, it needs that in order to survive rough transport conditions. So when they ship it, maybe it's getting banged around, knocked up and down, things like that. It's very rough. Rough meaning hard or unstable in this case. For example, the plane made a very rough landing, which caused one passenger to throw up. Yes, if your plane is very rough landing, I think you're scared and sick at that point.
Definitely, yeah. So they talked about how it had a shell of plastic with an outer layer of paper. Outer meaning on the outside, all right? So that's what the adjective means. The outside of something is the outer part. The opposite would be the inner, I-N-N-E-R. With that bottle, we talked about how it had a plastic shell with paper on the outside. So the outer layer is paper. The inner layer on the inside would be made of plastic. Here's something else that has an outer layer. The outer skin has some black spots on it, but the rest of the onion is totally fine. I thought they were going to talk about a banana.
Oh yeah, usually the outer layer of a banana has some spots
Black
on it.
spots on it too. There you go.
Still okay to eat it though.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out what else Coke is hoping to do to fight climate change.
刚刚说可口可乐即将在欧洲测试一种新的纸瓶，那这款环保瓶呢是由可口可乐顶尖的科学家跟丹麦的瓶子制造商 The Paper Bottle Company 来合作制造的。这间公司的名字就叫做纸瓶公司，真的是让人一目了然。它的名字就直接说明了他们是在制造什么。所以 Kim 老师他刚刚用到 descriptive 来形容他们这个公司名字 descriptive， 它是用来表达描述性的、说明的或是解释的。好，那课文接着写到说，那一款纸瓶呢，主要是由纸做成的，但是目前的款式还是有少量塑胶，毕竟要考量到运输的问题嘛。那为了克服恶劣的运输条件，他们还是使用了可回收的薄塑胶壳，然后外面再覆盖一层纸。好，这边有3个单字 ，scientist 就是科学家 ，rough 它可以用来形容是艰困的或是颠簸崎岖的。Kim 老师在解释单字时，他用到 unstable 这个字 ，unstable unstable 可以用来形容是不牢固的、不稳定的。再来看 outer 是指外部的、外面的，它的相反词是 inner 是表示内部的、里面的。那这时候我们就可以用到 outer layer 来指外层 ，inner layer 就是指内层。好，继续到课文中。
Paper or plastic, sir? The trial, part of Coke's World Without Waste project, has given 2,000 customers in Hungary the chance to try the new bottle. Coca-Cola hopes to measure the bottle's performance, as well as customer satisfaction, before making improvements for a full-scale rollout. If the test is a success, the soft drink company hopes the bottle can help it reach its goal of making bottles and cans with 50% recycled material by 2030.
All right, and we're back talking about bottles. It's all about bottles today. Don't bottle up your feelings about bottles.
I'm going to let it all out. I'm going to tell you what I think about paper bottles.
Well, we're going to find out exactly what Coke is doing to make this bottle available to the world. And as we see, the trial, part of Coke's World Without Waste project, has given 2,000 customers in Hungary, the country, the chance to try the new bottle.
Okay, this new mostly paper bottle with a plastic inner shell. Remember, we did talk about how they were testing this out or trying it out in Europe to see if it was going to be a useful thing, will actually work in the real world. When you do a test or an experiment or a trial, it's basically like, let's see how this works. So they're going to try it out, and then of course they're going to collect information to find out what people think. As we read, Coca-Cola hopes to measure the bottle's performance as well as customer satisfaction before making improvements for a full-scale rollout. Basically, it's a test. And as they do this test, they will measure the bottle's performance. Does it leak? Does it fall apart? If it gets hot or cold, if people drop it, they'll kind of look at that kind of thing. And also customer satisfaction. What do the people who are using the bottle, the customers, you and me, it makes my Coca-Cola taste like paper. Yeah, that's something they really wouldn't want. So they'll try all these out, make these improvements, make it better, and then hopefully have a full-scale rollout. That basically means it will be available everywhere, maybe even here someday. But they have to do all these tests before.
That's right, and as you said, these tests are to measure the bottle's performance. How does it do? The way something moves or works. As Mike said, they might test the bottle for heat resistance or cold resistance, the way it folds, the way it moves, the way it holds the Coke inside. This is a way to say, how is something doing? How does it move or how does it work? Is it good performance or bad performance? For example, I agree that the car's engine performance has been improved. Before, the engine wasn't that great, but now it runs for longer and you can make it go faster and it's better, so the performance has improved.
Okay, how well it does the job that it should be doing.
Right.
And then when we talk about the satisfaction of something, this is another noun. This noun basically talks about the enjoyment of doing something or the enjoyment of reaching a goal. You tried to do something, you're working hard, and you reach that goal and I feel good. I worked hard, I reached the goal, everything worked out. I have a feeling of satisfaction. When you try to do something and it doesn't work, that's a feeling of frustration. F-R-U-S-T-R-A-T-I-O-N. But if you reach that goal, if you do what you wanted to do, you get a feeling of satisfaction. Or it's just the pleasure of having a problem and then having the problem go away. For example, Albert gets great satisfaction from teaching. He likes his job, he goes to the school, he teaches the students, they learn, he feels good about his job and his work.
And everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy, hopefully. That's the idea.
Yeah. Now, if the test is a success, the soft drink company hopes the bottle can help it reach its goal of making bottles and cans with 50% recycled material by 2030. That's a good goal. So half, or 50%, of all their bottles and cans will be made with recycled material. Okay. Good way to reduce waste.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's 9 years from now. But anyways, it is definitely better than 100% plastic.
Yes.
That, of course, does end up sitting in the garbage for many, many years. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Here's our question, why are paper bottles better for the environment?
Well, paper bottles are definitely better for the environment than plastic bottles. The reason I say that is paper is more easy to recycle. It doesn't create as much waste.
True.
And you can use it for a pretty long time. And we have paper straws that you can use. I think paper would be better for the environment than plastic. What do you think?
I think they are better for several reasons. First, paper is what we would call biodegradable. If you put it in the garbage, it will break down, worms will eat it, plants can use it for food. Plastic just sits there. And also, I think paper might be also better when we make it, right? When you make plastic, you're using oil and other chemicals to make the stuff, and that also leads to different kinds of pollution. But then again, paper takes trees, so I don't know. Maybe we can just get like a tap at home and we turn on the tap and get Coca-Cola and just
Coke.
Drink it from a glass. Do it that way. I'm not sure. Or maybe just don't drink Coca-Cola. Anyways, let's talk about something else in the next article, which we will be back to talk about with you guys and read along with you guys sometime soon. But until then, take care and bye-bye.
可口可乐已经有先给匈牙利2000名顾客来试用这一款新的瓶子，他们希望在全面推行之前，能够先评估瓶子的这个性能，还有顾客满意度。如果这项试验成功的话，可口可乐目标是在2030年以前呢，用50%的再生材料来制造瓶罐，希望是可以成功的。要是最终能达到100%可生物分解就完美了。我们补充一下 ，biodegradable 这个形容词可以表达可生物分解的，它是拼作 biodegradable。那么这个字它其实是由 bio 表示生命、生物，然后加上 degrade degrade 表示分解、降解，再加上 able 这个字尾 able 表示可怎么样的，所以组合在一起就是可生物分解的 biodegradable。好，再来看单字 performance 在这边是指性能表现，它也有表演的意思。satisfaction 表示满意、满足，它是不可数名词。Mike 老师这时候有拼一个单字叫 frustration 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 则是指沮丧、挫败的意思。好，那我们最后来看两个重点。第一个是 as well as， 在这边当连接词可以表达还有什么以及什么，它是用来连接词性相同的字词，像我们可以说 She is smart as well as beautiful， 她聪明又漂亮。第二个重点是before 在引导副词子句的时候，如果它这个主词跟主要子句的主词相同，我们就可以把 before 引导这个主词呢省略，好，然后把动词改成动词 VING 形式。我们用句型来看比较清楚。假设原本的句型是主词加动词 before 主词加动词，就可以简化成主词加动词 before 动词 ING。例如 Melissa took a hot bath before she went to bed，可以简化成 Melissa took a hot bath before going to bed。 Melissa 在睡觉前去洗了一个热水澡。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Paper or plastic, sir? Coca-Cola, the world's #1 soda brand and plastic polluter, is going green. As part of its long-term plan to reduce the amount of plastic used in its products, the fizzy drink giant will test a new paper bottle in Europe. To make the eco-friendly bottle, Coke's top scientists teamed up with Danish bottle maker The Paper Bottle Company. Although it's made mostly of paper, the current model still contains a small amount of plastic. To survive rough transport conditions, the bottle is made of a thin, recyclable plastic shell that is covered in an outer sheet of paper. The company hopes to create a paper bottle without the plastic shell in the future. The trial, part of Coke's World Without Waste project, has given 2,000 customers in Hungary the chance to try the new bottle. Coca-Cola hopes to measure the bottle's performance, as well as customer satisfaction, before making improvements for a full-scale rollout. If the test is a success, the soft drink company hopes the bottle can help it reach its goal of making bottles and cans with 50% recycled material by 2030.
Xingman Night Market is located in Zhonghe, New Taipei City. It covers the T-shaped section between Xinyi and Jingxin Street. Getting there is easy because it is very close to Nanshijiao MRT station. The night market is filled with a variety of shopping choices, including shops with clothes, shoes, and electronics. The braised food stand here has attracted long lines for years. Visitors can find cheap Japanese food and popular favorites too, like spicy duck blood soup, stinky tofu, and shawarma. Tofu pudding and brown sugar pearl milk tea are great choices on a hot day. Traditional Taiwanese snack lovers must visit Xingman Night Market.
See you next time!